Good morning, and welcome to Redeemer Lutheran Church. I'm Pastor Gary Lodeholt. This week we are taking a tour of Redeemer's sanctuary, and even if you aren't a member of Redeemer, you'll likely find similar things in your own place of worship. Yesterday we talked about things at the door of our worship space, and I ended up by pointing out that when we finished, we were only 3 feet inside the doors, and already Christ and Christ's victory had been proclaimed in several ways. And maybe that's a good place for us to start today. You see, I think many of us believe that we come to church in order to hear the sermon and expect that that's the only place to draw meaning from. But the truth is that the building itself and the appointments inside are all there to proclaim the message too. We should take notice of that. Here at Redeemer, once you make your way past the baptismal font, you enter the part of the church building that is called the Nave. The nave is the place of assembly, and the word comes from the Latin word navis, which means ship. I remember having a Sunday school teacher when I was a child who mentioned that if you turned the church building upside down, it would remind you of a boat or ship. And certainly thinking that way reminds us of Noah's ark and how God did not abandon Noah on those waters and led him to new life and a new beginning. More specifically, this term nave invites us to think about the church sailing on the oceans of time and urges us to remember that God is with us no matter what comes. The nave tends to have aisles to allow people to enter and find a seat, but more importantly, to allow and facilitate people to come forward for Holy Communion. Often, we thoughtlessly call this part of the church building the sanctuary, but that's not right. The sanctuary is actually up around the altar. The place of the congregation is called the nave. The raised platform up front is called the chancel, and it is the site of the altar and pulpit. When you enter a Lutheran church, there are a couple things that are supposed to stand out. You are supposed to be able to see signs of both word and sacrament. As we've already seen here at Redeemer, you can't get in without passing the font, and then the altar is front and center, both important signs of sacrament. Here we have a very large altar commanding the room. Likewise, the pulpit is the place where the word is proclaimed, and it has a prominent place too. There are some pastors who often leave the pulpit and preach from the floor in front of the congregation, and this is one way to have the Word of God proclaimed in the midst of God's people, and also to say that we are all in the same boat in need of the gospel. Many churches also have a lectern, a secondary reading desk where the scriptures for the day are read. Here at Redeemer, our lectern is a book stand featuring a prominent Bible on it. Each week, the Bible is open to the place where our gospel reading is found. Finally, we come to the sanctuary. The sanctuary is the area immediately surrounding the altar, the area inside the altar rail. A few years ago here at Redeemer, we did some renovations, and the only thing I insisted on was that we make the floor surface in this area different from the rest of the nave. The different flooring marks this area as distinctive. It is a visual sign that this is the special place of God when we are in worship. Every Sunday when I step onto that unique surface, I want to take off my shoes. It feels like I am on holy ground. Thanks for watching, and remember to let this day belong to God.